the optimization engine behind it to figure out when something's going to be done, right? And I don't know what kind of criteria you would have to estimate that. I mean, maybe material availability, maybe it says it's tracking technicians, so it would know, when the technicians are going to be available, and then come up with an estimate that could lead.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our number one priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. And if you're joining for the first time, this is part of our industry series, for which we used to meet at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Now we are going to meet at 2 p.m. Eastern from this session onwards. So this is going to be our regular time. In this series, we review either one of the vendors or the solutions. For today, we have another service-centric solution, which is called ServicePower. Last week, we did Service Titan. So a lot of service, as you know, we all are very service mindset, right, Andy?
That's right, Sam.
So that's why we are doing a lot of, service ones. So we are going to have a lot of fun discussing that. Before we do that, we are going to start with everybody's intros. Quick intro about me, Sam Gupta, principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent ERP and digital transformation consulting firm. On that note, I'm going to move to Andy for his intro.
Well, thanks for having me, Sam. My name is Andy Pratico. I've been involved with ERP software for manufacturers all my life. I've worked all over North America, and I also teach people how to uncover the truth about ERP software before they buy. So thank you very much. By the way, I've got a couple webinars coming up. I'll just mention one for the Accounting Association in British Columbia on March the 21st, I think. And then one in your neck of the woods, Sam, with the ASCM group on March the 25th for the Toronto chapter.
Amazing. And guys, if you have time, join Andy and his partners. They do an amazing job in educating the community. So thank you so much once again, Andy, for joining. And then you are joining for the first time. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I would. So I am the director of North America for Partners to Innovate. We are an ERP implementation firm. We also do business transformation, digital transformation work for focus on Infor Global Solutions.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for joining, Dan. And then I don't know if you are going to have any announcement, I guess, for the ERP doctors. We are doing, an amazing job for the ERP doctors as well. If you're going to have any sort of plug for that, feel free.
Sure. I mean, we are doing the ERP doctors, Sam and I, every week, and we have a different interview every week. We talk about enterprise technology news, ERP software news, and we have an interview every week, and we do analysis of the interview. We talk about the person we're interviewing. So it's a lot of fun. It's really become quite popular in the last few weeks, which is fantastic. I think it's because of Sam's good looks, but there you go.
It's beautiful hair.
But anyway, join us if you would. ERP Doctors. You just put it on YouTube, type in ERP Doctors, and you'll get all our episodes.
Okay, amazing. And then I'm going to have to apologize to you because this is supposed to be a ticker, your name. But for some reason, I think I screwed it up. So I apologize. Next time, we'll have a real ticker, fancy the way we have for Andy.
No worries. Hey, there we go.
No, I mean, the ticker is not working. So for Andy, it is supposed to work like this, okay? So it's not working. But we'll get it fixed for you, Dan. Don't worry about it. All right, so I'm actually going to start with the quick briefing, and Andy and Dan, then I'll open up for comments in terms of if you have had any sort of experiences with this particular solution. If you have done any sort of research, obviously would love to do that. So this is kind of the continuation of a lot of different field service solutions. So then, for your awareness as well as the visibility, we have done a lot of different reviews as part of this series. For the most part, I mean, you look at any of the ERP solutions, supply chain solutions. So for this year, we have a lot in the pipeline. This one fits in that field service SaaS category, but it is also going to have some other layers that we are going to touch on. It has very interesting layers. For example, let's say, Andy, I don't know whether you recall this or not, when we were doing this with Service Titan is a very interesting solution. Okay. And I always like to compare this with a lot of different Venn diagrams, how these solutions are overlapping in terms of the capabilities. So one of the unique things that we noticed with Service Titan is that it overlaps a lot more with the CRM workflows, with the channel integration workflows, similar to your channel advisor, right? It had very unique industries that they were targeting primarily in the residential home services. But now ServicePower is I mean, they are very similar, comparable solution, field service SaaS, but it's going to have very unique capabilities and it's going to have very unique alignment to a very specific set of industries. So one layer that I would like to highlight here is going to be the network. Okay. And network is very common. Let's say if you look at any of the supply chain suite offerings, they have the network, and their network is going to provide data primarily. That's why they have network as such. The network may sometimes it might be used for the recruitment of suppliers and partners as well, but for the most part, the use of network is going to be primarily to provide data as well as traceability. Here it's slightly different. Okay, so in this particular case, what they are doing is they not only have the network, but what they can do is they are providing this network of contractors. Can you believe this, Dan? Okay, network of contractors as part of your field service offering. So if you come to me as the technical shop, I can provide you a solution. That's number one. Okay, but number two, the second problem, as you know, in any sort of trade centric industries, is going to be the talent. That is the biggest challenge, right? Whether you talk about manufacturing, field service, they all are struggling to find talent in the money that they can afford to pay, I guess. And in that money, obviously, it's very difficult. So these guys are providing that okay, let's say if you're building your field service organization, number one, you need tech. Number two, you need talent as well. So they are doing this in more of the managed services fashion. Now, obviously there are going to be margins etc that are going to be in play, but let's say if you're looking for seasonal workers that are going to be already trained, this could be a great offering overall. And then the other challenges that companies run into when they are looking at something like this is that, let's say if you are not going to have your coverage in the specific zip code, or you have very specific skill set that you require, sometimes that could be harder to source as well. So they have that too. So the unique layer that they have as part of their solution is going to be that managed services that they are offering. Now, when you look at their screens, for the most part, you are going to feel that it's probably very lean. In general, the way their screens are laid out, the way their product is laid out, but this is a very enterprise centric player. Okay. In fact, I mean, they have the technology that is patented. So for the most part, they have a lot of large logos. Service Titan had a lot of them as well, but this was always a very enterprise centric player. Okay. Then, if you look at some of the competing technologies, for the most part, from the ERP perspective, their competitors are going to be IFS. Infor has a little bit of field service play. The majority of the solutions that they have, the service workflows are very tightly embedded with the majority of their solutions, except visual, I guess, right, Andy? I
Yeah,
don't.
not visual.
Yeah, not visual.
The Cloud Suite industrial system is
Yeah,
quite good for field service.
yeah, and then LN and M3, they are going to have field service play as
Yep.
well, right? Yeah.
Very nice field service capability.
Exactly. So obviously, I mean, Epicor has some solutions that had very strong field service. For example, when you go to solutions such as your Eclipse, They always had the field service built as part of the solution itself. A lot of TMS-centric capabilities were built as part of the solution. Traditionally, Kinetic was not known for their embedded field service capabilities. Okay,
Eclipse
then
is targeted at field service, isn't it, Sam?
which one?
Eclipse, Epicor Eclipse.
Well, so depending upon which field service are we talking, field service could mean a lot of different things. Okay, so if you are talking about HVAC, electrical, those industries, Eclipse was really known for. But
I
field
see. Okay.
service, for example, let's say if you look at from the service power lenses, okay, here field services like utilities, property and casualty insurance. Now, is that a field service?
No.
I don't know. No, that's a real field service. No,
Sure it is. It is, but that's not what I meant. But yeah, I understand.
Exactly. Utilities, hospitality. So it's a very different play. Telco, is that a field service? In this particular case, it is. So that's where the real distinction is. Field service could mean a lot of different things. So service power, primarily in my mind, I like to call these industries non-ERP industries because they don't have a real ERP footprint. For them, ERP was primarily, I guess, your financials, obviously financial reporting, then field service, depending upon if they have the field service flavor, if they have a lot of assets, then you have, the asset exposure as well, which is going to be your EAM solution. But that's it. I mean, that's probably is the scope of ERP in these industries for the most part. From the CRM perspective, the challenge with the majority of the field service offerings that we have, they might overlap with a lot of different enterprise workflows. Sometimes they are very tightly embedded with your ERP workflows. Sometimes they are tightly embedded with CRM workflows. And now that creates a very different architecture. And sometimes that's going to be embedded with your TMS. So it's very, very different. Every industry is going to have very different workflow depending upon where your processes are overlapping with specific capabilities or the field service capabilities. That's what is going to dictate where field service processes are going to reside. And that's why you see field service processes residing in many different categories. So if you look at CRM, I mean, Salesforce, very strong in field service. They probably have, as strong capabilities for field service as they are going to have for CRM. Microsoft has best of breed field service solution, even though these field service capabilities are also going to be part of their ERP bundle. But let's say if you require best of breed solution for field service, they have a solution for that as well.
Which solutions from ECI are for field service, Sam?
So whatever Appicore targets in those verticals. So when you talk about HVAC, I forget the name. I don't know. Maybe Spruce is probably going to have Spruce is in building construction space, right?
Spruce is Epicor, though.
No,
It's
ECI,
not?
right? No, I don't think it's Appicore.
Is it ECI?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
I think so.
okay.
Yeah, but ECI, I don't remember the name of their solutions in the HVAC space. But in my mind, Appicore, ECI, they have a very similar target market. They hang out in very similar industries, and Advantive has very similar strategy as well. They are all targeting in your HVAC plumbing. So at the smaller level, ECI is going to have a lot of footprint there. We need to come back with the names of the solution. I mean, they have like 25 in their portfolio.
I know, they have a lot.
Yeah.
Rootstock is Salesforce is an ERP built on Salesforce platform. Isn't it focused on manufacturing, I think? Does it also have service capability in their field service capability? I guess so.
So
I think it's stronger at field service than it is at manufacturing, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'll provide some clarifications there, guys.
It's pretty weak at manufacturing. Yeah.
I'll provide some clarifications there. So Rootstock is an ERP. It is going to have manufacturing capabilities. Now, how do you define weak, strong? I'll let Andy define that. But for the most part, it is going to utilize the Salesforce field service solution. So Rootstock by itself does not necessarily have the field service capabilities. It's going to have all the manufacturing bells and whistles, that you are going to require in your manufacturing ERP solution. But then it is going to utilize, let's say, Salesforce CRM, Salesforce field service, anything and everything that, and they don't even have. They are not going to have things such as your PLM integration. They utilize a third-party app for that. For example, let's say if you look at Infor Epicor, they are probably going to have PLM, some sort of PLM integration as well. Either that is going to be incorporated as part of the bundle itself, but not all solutions. Then in the mid market, they might not have as broader integrated suite, I guess. So depending upon the solution, yeah. But overall, Rootstock is supposed to be a manufacturing ERP. It utilizes Salesforce Field Service, and that's how they are going to be really strong from the field service perspective, because Salesforce Field Service is very enterprise-centric play overall from the field service perspective. Oracle has very strong presence in the field service space because the kind of industries Oracle targets is going to be in field service. So oil and gas, healthcare, hospitals, obviously insurance, utilities, exactly, telco, then. And then just, for your visibility, I guess the story that we have reviewed on ERP Doctors, the Oracle Field Service Solution, the whole communication industry 4.0 piece, this would fall under that, I guess. Yeah.
Is that in the Fusion product line?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, honestly speaking, even though NetSuite is owned by Oracle, but it's not really Oracle, I guess.
It's its own thing.
Exactly. It's a different world. And I don't think NetSuite people they'd like to think.
Larry Ellison bought it back when he couldn't do a cloud ERP. He bought it back.
Well, he got tired of buying islands, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, guys. So I'll keep moving. So overall, from the TMS perspective, we have not highlighted any of the solutions, but any of the ones that are going to have the POD capabilities. And then for your reference, this is going to be proof of delivery. Andy already has a joke for that, I guess.
Odd.
But I mean, the other comparison are going to be Service Titan is definitely comparable. Service Max that we are probably reviewing next week. So they are all best of breed SaaS from the field service perspective. But our friends at ServiceNow, so ServiceNow is going to be slightly more technical solution, but their major presence is also in the field service space.
Yeah, I looked up some comparisons with ServiceNow just to keep our theme of ERP doctors going all the way through, and it compares very favorably. I found a Gartner review, where this service versus ServiceNow, it compared very favorably and beat them in a lot of categories. But I think it's more it overlaps with ServiceNow but not in the ITSM space, right? The IT service management, it's field service management and handling contractors and full-time employees together, which seems to be the specialty or the special area that it has.
Yeah.
Versus ServiceNow. But it did have that development platform that, let me look it up here. I got it got your PowerPoint here.
And when you say it, what are you comparing it with?
No, I'm saying this is the ServicePower has the Pronto forms. It looked like a bit like what ServiceNow was doing with its development platform. It says Agile app creation and advanced mobile tools for field teams, and it says owned, built, and deployed by citizen developers. I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah. So ServiceNow does have the workflow automation capabilities. So their form capabilities are going to be built in. These guys are using third-party app, Pronto Forms, as you mentioned. Pronto Forms is, very common. I mean, it's a very vanilla forms offering, to be completely honest. It's very similar or comparable to Monday.com. Monday.com is probably going to have a very thicker offering. Pronto Forms is very basic. It's like you can publish a form, put it in a spreadsheet. That's how lean it is.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll keep moving here. So I guess from the industry perspective, they have a very interesting industries, and these industries they kind of overlap, but not as much. With Service Titan. Service Titan is targeting very different industries. Here, I think we have already touched on all of these points, so I'm not going to have anything else here. I'll move on to the next one if you guys are okay.
Sure.
Okay, so overall, I guess, then for your visibility, the way we approach this is we have three different layers that we typically analyze. Number one is going to be any sort of press releases that they have done in the past. So we sort of track all of that, and we look at the whole product design, and then we also analyze user reviews. in terms of what users have commented, if we can glean any sort of insights from there. We typically don't pay attention to how many, what is the rating. We literally, pay attention to the details. So here, the story is coming from, I think this is coming from 2015 or so, that I think they were starting back then. So here they are talking about ServicePower, a market leader in the cloud-based mobile workforce management software. That's how they were positioning at that time. So that's how they started. They didn't start at more of the field service management, but mobile workforce management is what they are calling. And I think their first or second contract was with Costco. Can you believe this? So that was always a big deal. I mean, Costco is a big deal. But just to be clear, here we are talking about Costco wholesale UK. So we are dealing at the subsidiary level. Even then, I think it's going to be big. But again, this is not the enterprise wide installation. So this was really more in the appliance space. I guess that's what they are talking about. So it was really for post purchase support and fix for under warranty electrical appliances. And that is, I don't know how much revenue Costco is going to have in that, but that's going to be very, very, very subset of the overarching revenue that Costco has. So it's a very small footprint overall from the installation perspective. And obviously, their secret sauce was the scheduling. I think that's where they had the patent. So they are talking about scheduling, where they are saying optimally deploy its network of accredited third-party technicians to Costco's members. And obviously, the certification skill set matters as well, because that is going to be one of the inputs in that scheduling. So here, this particular scheduling is very different, and this gets as complex as your production scheduling. Generally, in the manufacturing community, if they are going to talk about scheduling, they are always thinking production scheduling. They don't even think about field service, but depending upon where the complexity is, this could be as complex.
Yeah, no question.
So here, yeah, this is all sales pitch. I don't have anything else that I want to hit on here, so I'll move on.
Well, it's just interesting that it mentions that Smart Scheduling Solution uses AI-based scheduling logic. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know more about that, but that is an interesting comment.
Well, so this is coming from 2015 when nobody was talking about AI, but they were talking about AI for some reason. They do have patented technology, so my assumption is going to be that they are as good as somebody like IFS, to be completely honest, because IFS is really known for their enterprise grade scheduling, to be completely honest. Okay, but when I look at their screens, business rules, it doesn't seem like that they are as strong, to be completely honest. But they have very large installations, so there is a chance that they might have something that I may be missing, but it is not coming across when you look at their business rules. Very simple app. It's not enterprise grade scheduling, at least in my
mind. I would assume that this target market is larger than the Service Titan product was.
Interesting comment. So Service Titan, for the most part, they were targeting smaller players, from the get-go, but now they are able to manage much bigger. They have much bigger funding. They have much higher valuation. This is a small company, ServicePower. Service Titan is a much bigger company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys don't have any other comments, I'll move on to the next one. So this is coming from 2017. And here they are saying ServicePower, a field service management solution provider, has, again, by the way, I mean, they have been rated by Gartner, consistently a lot of times. So Gartner, obviously, they do very detailed review in general. And obviously, they must have something, and they have ranked them against some very large players. So obviously, they have something that requires, their ranking. So again, it's meant to be a very enterprise grade solution. One of the unique advantage, I guess, I mean, we sort of touched, but we have not touched, is this notion of blended workforce. Their claim is that they are the only ones who are able to do that. But for the most part, if you look at decent field service offerings, leaner field service offerings may not have that, because in general, in field service space, you are going to have contractors, you are going to have service providers, and there's a lot of collaboration happening in between. The way your sales comp is structured is, there is a very intertwined process. And for the most part, for example, let's say if you look at any of the Infor solutions, they do have very complex field service workflows with these capabilities where you can have your contractors, service providers, you can have back and forth collaboration. Your serial numbers are going to be exchanged. I don't think these guys can handle all of those capabilities. For example, let's say if you get into the real serial number, especially when you are talking about correlation of serial number with your bombs from the production perspective, obviously that's where the processes become very thick. But these guys are in the appliance space. So my assumption is going to be that they can do some sort of tracking, but that is going to be more of the operational customer service experience tracking. It's not going to be the actual, serial number tracking that you would find in the ERP centric installations. Unless you guys have comments.
So by blended, that means a combination of employees plus contractors. Is that what that means?
Contractors, exactly. So contractors, but you may also have other companies that might be part of the workflow. For example, let's say, and some scenarios are going to be, let's say, if I am Costco and I may be working with 5 different companies, one company may be providing, I don't know, maybe just one touch in the process. Maybe they are doing inspection, then the other company is probably doing the actual work after the inspection. So you might have multiple companies, multiple contractors collaborating in the process, and the process handshake needs to happen. So some systems, field service solutions, when they are going to be part of ERP workflow, can do that, but these things get thicker when you look at very complex workflows. If you guys don't have any other comments, I'll keep moving. So here they are talking about our unified solution delivers faster, smarter service, all sales pitch, I guess. They are talking about patented AI-based schedule optimization. So they have highlighted that, and that's their secret sauce. In general, third-party contractor management, obviously that's a big one as well, but I have seen that capability in a lot of different solutions. So I don't know how.
What about the booking, Sam? It says they can book branded appointments on any internet-connected device. That's for their customers. For the customers. Yeah, go ahead.
That's where we get into the CRM workflows, right? So when you look at the branded appointment, right? So you are kind of white labeling the solution. You are sort of exposing the customer portal. So now you have the customer portal for your field service workflow as well. And now you're not going to have any sort of correlation with your finance customer portal, any other customer portal that you might have. So there's a lot that goes in. Right. But in this case, I mean, this is, in my mind, it's more of the customer experience marketing touch.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, that you could have a very heavy lift there as well. I don't think, the ERP centric solutions will be able to do this. When you look at the branded, portals, and then you are sort of enabling their instance, they are able to book their appointment in that portal. They are able to track. It gets thicker. In some cases, they might require it depending upon whether you are shipping this just for one time or you are dealing with a company that requires tracking a lot of different service requests. So if you are dealing with a contractor who's doing a lot of different jobs, then they would probably require some sort of portal, and that's where their play is in terms of that branded booking.
Is that different from like a Service Titan or a ServiceNow? It's not different from ServiceNow, I think. ServiceNow has it.
So ServiceNow, you would need to build it. Okay, they are not going to have these capabilities pre-flavored. So they will have the technical components for you to be able to enable that. But as such, you will require a lot of consulting effort to enable something like this. This is pre-baked, for you. Now, your comment related to Service Titan. Service Titan is a very different offering. Okay, so they are going to have a lot more. In fact, they have an EDI play. Okay, so the way EDI, so they are doing a lot of lead generation play as well. So it's not just the booking of the service appointment. So in their case, let's say if you are working with Home Depot is sending you a lot of leads. Costco is sending you a lot of leads, and you are serving those leads. So you are not only booking, but you are also receiving those leads. So it almost becomes like a CRM then, right? Because you are doing your lead receiving. You are doing your, the estimation quoting. So you have a little bit of CPQ workflow, and that's why I was saying that there could be overlaps everywhere. The overlaps could be in your CRM process, it could be in your TMS process. So I don't know how do you design your architecture, but here the field service overlaps with your CRM workflows a lot more. That's why every single CRM player is getting into that field service play. So there, they are not only going to have that, but they are also going to have the whole channel integration play. For example, the way your Amazon channel integration is going to work, here you are doing all of that, meaning you are receiving lead, you are probably exchanging some sort of inventory as well at times. If you do that, then you require some sort of process handshake there. Then after that, you need to position your inventory. They need to be able to look up, what kind of inventory you have, because they are using that inventory in their scheduling workflow as well. So you need to expose this to your customers. In this particular case, the customer is going to be somebody like Costco or Home Depot. So you have a very quick process. At the end of the month, you are also going to have your financial statements because they are going to send you statements in terms of, okay, how many services you have booked, what is your balance, all of those transactions, where your inventory is. So there's a lot that goes in that channel interaction workflow. In general, most companies deal with very custom EDI centric integration when they are doing something like this, but that could get very expensive.
Nice. Perfect. Thanks.
Of course. Now, I'll keep going. If you guys have any other comments, I can touch those. I don't have anything else here. I'll keep moving. Okay. So this is another story, and this is again, I don't necessarily understand the technology. I don't know if you guys are going to have any sort of experience with this technology, but they are talking about quantum annealing optimization algorithm, which sounds very technical, obviously. So they are doing something there. I don't know if this is related to quantum computing, but they are using word. So seems like they have done something there, which is very unique for them.
Yeah, based on quantum physics. That's getting pretty deep.
I know.
You know quantum physics.
I do. I've watched some Marvel movies, actually.
You're rocket scientists.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't this the quantum computing we've been hearing about, like the AI based on quantum computing now is a bit different because of the way the processors are quantum chips or something like that? Isn't that what I don't know about that annealing part.
Physics is to do with atomic, like subatomic size particles, and how the whole world's different when you get that down that way. The rules are all different, but
this is a way to optimize.
That they would mention that.
Yeah, it looks like it's like random random number theories or whatever, right? Using that to optimize a supply chain for service management in a way.
Yeah,
it looks like that's what they're trying to do. That's a very interesting concept, and it says they want it in a way that is profitable. So somehow they figure in the financials. Is that what you guys read from that? Because it's the profitability seems to be one of maybe an input to the process to optimize it, because you want to optimize it for the service provider as well as for the customers in terms of scheduling, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably helped to do with the AI, but again, how that aligns with quantum physics, I'm not really sure.
No idea.
That might be the marketing side. I guess the profitable, I don't know if they have received patent for that. I would be shocked if they have done that. So profitable, I guess, in terms of it's going to be in time saving that they are doing, the efficiency that they are creating. Yeah. But the algorithm, the scheduling algorithm, it is definitely based on quantum physics, which is wonderful. So, okay, so I'll keep moving here. So they have highlighted some of the things, for example, more efficient utilization of labor, higher first time fixed rates, utilizing asset information, technical skills, real-time inventory, and spare parts availability, real-time travel, and knowledge. Travel could be a very interesting input as well, because you are using that as part of your maps algorithm, because field service. So Andy, in general, the field service scheduling, in my mind at least, is far more complex than your production scheduling, because you don't have maps. As part of your production scheduling, the only thing that you are doing,
which maps. What does that mean?
Yeah, so basically you are also optimizing, because this is exactly, so this is you are saving in fuel, you are saving in labor, far more complex. And they have all of that. Some field service solutions in the ERP world, they might have map integration, they do scheduling, but I don't know how efficient that is. So this is the real deal, guys. Okay, I don't have anything else. I'll move to the next one. So This is also their
Siemens.
press release. A market leader in the field service management solutions has won a new contract with Siemens. Big deal, guys. Siemens, I mean, probably, and they are talking about Siemens managed services to extend its deployment of ServicePower's smart scheduling solution. And I don't know whether this was more in the CapEx world. CapEx, I mean, they have like humongous presence. When you look at Siemens, like they are doing very large CapEx equipment in the medical device space. They have very, very large presence there. Big deal. Siemens Managed Services, an independent provider of smart metering services. So it's again, when you get into these metering workflows, that's where it gets even more complex because this is the whole IoT play, the whole billing play, overall from the metering perspective. So here we are talking about commercial and residential, industrial usage, commercial and industrial, not residential. In this particular case, Service Titan was primarily residential. So here you are looking at very, very, very complex. What is that called? The utility billing, right? In the utility industry, what is that called? I'm not utility billing. There's another term for that. I'm missing that right now. That's
Isn't
very
it
complex.
metering? It's not metering.
There is a term for the billing. Metering is one, but there is a term for billing that is very common in the utility industry. Most of the ERP vendors, including SAPs of the world, sometimes they really struggle with that. It's very, very, very hard. In the ECC world, they used to have that, but now, I don't know how strong that is. Oracle has very strong presence there. So it gets very complex in general. I don't have anything else that I can add here. If you guys have any questions, comments, I can take those, or I can move to the next one.
UK again. They need to get into the US if they really want to expand.
Yeah, so I think that's how they started. Yeah, that's how they started, but now I think they are in the US market as well. By the way, that could be another distinction. I think Service Titan is doing really well in the US. I don't know how present they are in the UK market. These guys are UK based or Europe based. I don't know, where their home location is, but definitely big presence in Europe. So now we have, I guess, Virginia here, right? So now we are in the US. So
McLean is 5 minutes down the road. I saw McLean all over the place. I was like, yay.
See? So here they are talking about ILA networks and global device management and application enablement platform for IoT enables companies to consume IoT data from sensors. So they are doing a lot of IoT play as well. And when you are looking at maintenance of those edge devices, obviously you need the field service play. So very, very, very different play than your residential sort of play that Service Titan is doing. So now they are talking about a robust diagnostic rule engine, and this is coming for the ILAS platform, right? So they are going to have their own workflow, and typically that workflow is used in your CPQ workflow as well. Sometimes that is used in your metering solution because sometimes you are billing because of that. We don't necessarily have a real hardware-centric SaaS offering so far, at least from the billing perspective. Companies are trying to come up with that. But right now, if you look at the real hardware as a service offering, it's not very scalable at this point of time. If you look at the enterprise grade solutions, implementing that is a challenge even as of today. So that's the kind of depth that we are talking about here. So number one, you are going to get a lot of data from that. You have the diagnostic rule engine. Then you have, obviously you have to analyze the data, etc. So all of that is going to be part of that. But they are probably playing a very small part in this process. I don't think they are going to have the overarching offering where you can actually have your hardware as a service offering, including your maintenance, billing, invoicing. All of that is very difficult.
This is strictly home, though, right? They're not moving into factories. If they could move into factories, I think that'd be a good move for them also. There are IoT devices that are in manufacturing facilities, but this is just home. So you're talking about your refrigerator speaking to you or something like that, right? My refrigerator needs service or something like that, right? Rather than I have a numerically controlled machine down on my shop floor that needs service.
So if you look at the field service offering, that would be in the field by its nature. So if this is going to be a preventive maintenance inside your production, I don't think they would cover this. So, as far as the scope of ServicePower as well as the field service solutions go, they are primarily going to be in the field. Now, these guys are not necessarily in the residential space, even though they might have IoT capabilities, but these guys are primarily into the IoT telecom edge sort of devices. I don't know how good they are going to do in the residential space. That's not necessarily their target market. Their target market is utilities, appliances. They are doing just a little bit, from the post-purchase perspective, but not necessarily the residential services.
I just saw connected home there, and I thought maybe that was something.
Where are you seeing that?
In the title.
Huh.
It could be. It's no big deal. I didn't mean to hold you up.
Yeah, no, that's a marketing speak, right? So, so
Connected home strategy.
I'm not sure if I am able to conclude here in terms of who's the frame of reference. I guess is it for Isla? Is it for I just don't have enough data points, I guess, to be able to conclude. But very interesting observation. Okay, if you guys don't have anything else, I'll keep moving here. So this is also coming from the similar location. So here they are talking about field service management software company focused on transforming service experiences. Today announced that it has launched 2 solutions. So they have launched some more capabilities here. They are talking about service CX. So obviously their focus is very CRM centric. That's why they are calling service CX, allows customers to manage the in-home experience, while Service Depot is focused on depot repair process. And that is going to be, again, I think the whole experience is very fragmented if you really look at it, right? So they have a lot of different solutions. They are used at many different points in the process, but I don't know how you are going to get that integrated experience, I guess. That would be my take on this. But if you're looking for siloed experience, this could be a great fit for that. So here they are talking about before service. So they have different points that they have spoken about. So here the scenarios that you're going to have is before service. So you have the self-service portal with simple registration, branding customization. So obviously that is not going to be part of any other workflows, I guess. TMS, probably you're not going to find that. ERP, you're not going to find that. So this is very unique. Proactive customizable communications, obviously that's sales. Ability to upload photos and notes, that could be interesting because you have to upload those photos as part of your request. So that is probably going to be part of your CPQ workflow that you probably need. So that's very interesting. Then you have day of service. So again, this is where your operations are going to be. So you have self-schedule, reschedule, or cancel. Again, if you are simply using this for the scheduling, it's okay. But if you are also going to be using an ERP underneath, depending upon how integrated your processes are, you could have fun in your architecture. How the process is going to work, who's going to do what, I guess deciding that could be a challenge. Appointment confirmation via text or email, just that itself could be a challenge. A lot of ERP systems are going to claim that they have, but enabling that may require a lot of consulting effort in general. Automated job status tracking on mobile devices or laptop. Now that's a very heavy lift in general. Requires a lot of effort. If they are able to offer this pre-baked, obviously that's going to be a huge plus. And that's why companies like solutions like this, because that is going to enhance your customer experience. But when you get into the core operational workflows, when you talk about cost accounting, when you talk about job costing, that's where you are going to have real fun. You're going to struggle a lot. With something like this. Obviously, you have customer satisfaction surveys. Again, very CX-centric workflows. Marketers love it, but again, that's not the real business. Access to service history, again, that's going to be partial in my mind. Service Depot, that's going to have very different workflow. You have service request, different service request. So it's almost like retail versus wholesale comparison in my mind. They are talking about web-based submission and photo upload capabilities, warranty entitlement review. That's a very thick process. But here, in my mind, I think that's going to be a very, very, very siloed experience. Depending upon who's manufacturing, if you're a pure play field service, then it might be okay. But if you're also manufacturing, good luck with that. That could be interesting. Depot locator and repair availability. Now, that is interesting. That is very location-centric insights. Your ERP is probably not going to have that. Depending upon how you have designed, I guess, what capabilities your ERPs are going to have. Service disposition, customer notifications, scope of work, cost estimates, and in my mind, that is very CPQ-centric workflow. In general, in the field service space, even the CPQ process, they are so complex, so complex that even sometimes the real enterprise-grade configurators, they struggle with it. The kind of rules you are going to have. some ERP systems, for example, let's say if you look at Acumatica, they are designed for various field service workflows. They do really, really good in those spaces. Probably some other solutions such as Infor, Epicor, they are probably going to be okay, but it's a very hard lift in general. The kind of rules you have, even if you're going to have very small shop that is simply doing parking paint, that itself could be very complex in terms of the kind of rules that you need to configure. Okay. Any comments, guys?
It says repair cycle tracking with completion estimates. So that sounds like something that would have the optimization engine behind it to figure out when something's going to be done, right? And I don't know what kind of criteria you would have to estimate that. I mean, maybe material availability, maybe it says it's tracking technicians, so it would know, when the technicians are going to be available, and then come up with an estimate to complete or something like that. It seems like it would be a very complex. Yeah, it seems like that would be a very complex process, and if they can do that, then that's
so
good.
If you are a very small shop and if you're using just this system, then you are probably going to be okay. But let's say if you have multiple systems, you are looking at very biased view, inaccurate view, because it's not going to have all of the underlying layers that you need to be able to do that.
And it would have to tie back to when you're talking about parts, you mentioned serial numbers are very important in tracking for this type of work, and you almost have to have an ERP inventory management system that can handle serialized tracking, which is kind of a big deal in and of itself, but it have to go back in there and say these serial numbers are in inventory, so that based on FIFO or something like that, it's going to issue these parts out with these serial numbers and everything like that. That might be part of the optimization process.
Exactly.
It would be complex.
Exactly. And a lot of systems don't even have dedicated field service inventory, to be completely honest. If they are really designed for field service, then only they are going to have that. Otherwise, you're not going to have. They don't have dedicated inventory for your quality. And quality is going to be part of this as well. How do you sort of embed that as part of this process? So you're going to have a lot of issues in general. You're going to be doing a lot of double entry in many different systems. So this is fun from the customer experience perspective. But when you get into the real operational workflows, it's going to be fun. All right, guys, if you don't have any other comments, I'll keep moving. So 2019, one more story. So here they are talking about Pronto Forms. And Dan, I think this was your comment, right? To bolster its FSM solution with agile app creation and advanced mobile tools for field teams. This is wonderful. But, it's not meant to be slightly more enterprise grade capabilities. Obviously, they have incorporated this because they were trying to compete in 2019 with a lot of different workflow automation solutions, because I believe in 2019, I guess we had Monday.coms of the world. We had ServiceNows of the world. So they had to, compete with them. And that's why they ended up doing this, in my mind. So this is interesting, but you are not going to have the same capabilities that you are going to find with the workflow automation tools, especially if you compare this with ServiceNow.
There's also that little catch. It says field-focused low-code app platform, right? So low-code means limited capabilities usually, right?
Well, low-code in my mind is a very marketing pitch, to be completely honest, even though they are saying, it is meant for citizen developers. And in this particular space, there might be a need for that because these forms are very ad hoc. Because you have compliance workflows, you have inspection workflows. So there is a little value, I would say, to be able to create these forms, because let's say if they have to make these changes inside ERP, making those changes, you need to go to a consultant. Otherwise, you'll not be able to do this. So that's where the real value is. So in this particular case, it makes sense because these workflows are very ad hoc. You are never going to find the same inspection process across two companies, even if they are going to be part of the same industry. So that's why the forms are really relevant here. Increases field service productivity with contextual step-by-step instructions that guides workers to complete. I guess we are good here. I don't have anything else to add there. They might have the barcode, QR code workflows as well, images, annotations. That could be a very interesting workflow as well. They are talking about asset health. That could be checked with RFID barcode. So it's a very interesting workflow there as well. So they are able to do a lot, but again, it's going to be a very partial experience. Here they are talking about insurance industry. It's very, very, very different in this particular patch. So they are talking about enable insurance organizations to improve field service management experiences. The insurance market is ServicePower's second largest vertical by revenue and has global customers across 3 segments of insurance, including property and casualty. Then you have third party administration, and then you have the home extended warranty. I think they are excluding health. Health in general is a very different market segment overall from the process perspective. So they are attacking everything that is going to be slightly more field service centric. And they have customers such as they have Allstate, they have USAA, they have Aviva, and I can guarantee this. Not many companies are going to have these capabilities in these verticals because insurance is a very different beast. In general, they had a lot of custom development there. So now, then you might be able to see why ServiceNow is penetrating, because they are providing slightly more integrated experience with all that GRC, etc. Obviously, let's not talk about GRC here.
That's a big topic unto itself, right?
Yeah, exactly. You are not going to have all of that, and this is just an app. So that's why ServiceNow is so powerful. Then you have AIG and Assurant. They have very, very large logos. So most likely ServiceNow is going to be disrupting these guys. Then they have First American Home Warranty, as well as what is their Centricity, I guess, is another one that they have. Very, very massive logo. Okay, 2:57. So I'll open up for comments from you guys. I don't think we can keep going right now. Andy?
Well, I think from what it looks like a pretty impressive product. But the thing that really got me was the fact that it talks about the AI using to schedule their service opportunities and programs. I mean, I'd like to know more about that, but it sounds fairly sophisticated.
Yeah, so it might be beneficial, I guess. I'm actually going to open up some of these screens overall from the product perspective. Just give me a second. I don't know how to do this. So I think, so here, maybe we might need to touch on this screen. So this might be helpful a little bit. I don't know. So these are different rules that they have, but the rules in my mind are simpler. They are not enterprise grade to require quantum physics, but they have patent in that for, I don't know. Maybe they
look like quantum physics.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Like a marked up screen.
It's marked up a screen. Yeah, so I don't think I have anything else. So I'll go back to comments. Go ahead, Andy. Sorry.
No, that's good. Show that. Thank you, Sam.
Of course. Jen, comments?
I'm the same as Andy. I really would like to learn more about that optimization because we both know from an ERP perspective kind of what's in an MRP, what drives a scheduling engine, at least in production, but not so much in service. It seems to be very relatively rudimentary in the world of field service within an ERP. Typically, it's not AI optimized or anything like that, and I don't think it's taking into. You might say it takes into account some transportation routes or something like that, but not in a kind of interactive real-time way. Like if you're corresponding with Google Maps, for example, this guy ran into a traffic jam and he has to go around here, to get to the destination. And what's a depot repair center nearby? I noticed that too. That also seemed very interesting to me because they have a series of depot repair centers. They might go by there and get some parts or something like that, or go by and get a little service done. And they want to optimize that as well. Which one do I go to? I don't want to go to one across town when I can get to this one right here. So that's very interesting to me. I think that's exceptional if it really works.
It definitely works. They have a lot of large logos, so there's no question that they definitely work. More comments, Andy? Ted?
Thank you, Sam.
Any more comments and final? No,
thanks for having me on. It's my first time. It's my inaugural visit.
We are honored to have you, Dan. Amazing, guys. So that's it. Go ahead, please.
I was going to say, I'll see you in a couple days on ERP Doctors.
Amazing. So that's a wrap, guys. If you joined for the first time, this was part of our industry series for which we meet every Tuesday now at 2 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys are going to be here next week. We're going to come back with another vendor or the solution. On that note, thanks everyone for tuning in this afternoon.
Thanks a lot, Sam. Nice to see you, Dan.
Nice to see you too, Andy. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.